Okay, welcome. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. All right. So today, I'm going to be talking about XMATTERS and just a brief overview of what we do. So actually, I wanted to start out with some context here. This right here is a GIF that my wife sent me just randomly out of the blue. And of course, with no context, it didn't make any sense. But after asking some clarifying questions, she was ready to be done for the day with our kids. But and that kind of leads me to X Matters and a little bit about how we can give context to a give context to a notification. So first, I wanted to briefly set up the scene. We have this corporation that with 3 different teams. We have the web team that they've adopted a DevOps practice. So they use Stackdriver for monitoring. They use Jira to work software issues and Slack to collaborate. Now we have more of a traditional MIM team that use ServiceNow for major incidents, kind of a central source of truth for postmortems, conference calls, and for collaboration, and they're thinking about moving to MS Teams or Slack. Now, our third team, the support team, more customer-facing, they route all their customers' incidents through Zendesk, and then they use a corporate chat tool with MS Teams. So you can see that these different teams have the autonomy to work out of what tools that they want to work out of. Versus now, the double-edged sword here, of course, is you get a lot of silos when that sort of thing happens. So let's go into X Matters to kind of, let me stop this here. Let me go into X Matters. So this right here is Flow Designer. Now, Flow Designer gives you the ability to drag and drop different actions or manual steps that would be manual before X Matters, that steps or actions that you would need to take when you get an alert. So first I wanted to show you the alert that I got on my phone here with X Matters. So this Stackdriver, the story behind here is that some sort of a build was submitted and broke everything. The website went down, and Stackdriver, of course, picked it up. But not only can we give you Stackdriver information, the on-call personnel, but we can also go and get additional details. So that's where this particular flow is. So get Bitbucket data. That was the last code that was submitted. And then, of course, the Jenkins build that was last submitted. So now the engineer that gets this information has some sort of context, right? So versus the text that my wife sent me with the GIF, and I had to kind of poke and prod her to say, what's going on, as opposed to just the Stackdriver info and alerting that way. Now, as the engineer, there's various things that I can do. So let me zoom out here. And with the response options from the alert here, I can simply acknowledge it. Maybe I want to restart the service. I've seen this before, and that'll restart the Apache server. Or maybe I need to roll back the last commit so that I can get the website up and running and get that working. Or maybe I want to start a Sev1, which would kick off various flows, which I'll get into in a second. But for now, I'm just going to acknowledge it from the alert. And you can tell here from this flow, when I simply acknowledge it, it's going to post to a Stackdriver channel. So let's go into that Stackdriver channel here. And so you can see that some previous information was automatically posted, and then as soon as I acknowledge that alert, it lets everybody know, or everybody in that channel, that me as the engineer, I'm going to start working on it or or I've got it. And that starts to give visibility across all these different teams. Now, as the engineer, I've made the determination that I want to start a Sev 1. So before I hit that notification, I'm going to, before I hit that response option, I'm going to go through what it's going to do. It's going to create a highest JIRA issue, create a status page incident, create a dedicated MIM channel, and then we're going to turn around and post to that channel some information, some context into the story, so that when engineers, on-call engineers come into that Slack channel, they know what's going on, as opposed to why am I getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning getting into this channel. And then we have to let our Sev1 team know what's going on, so we're going to post to their channel saying that, hey, this is what's going on, just so you know. And now, and then turn around and update that JIRA issue with all the details in the previous steps. So we're going to put the status page link in, also let everybody know that, hey, this Slack channel was created. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go back into here. I'm going to start a Sev1. Now, the neat part about this, too, is we give you the visibility of what's going on with these steps if you happen to be logged into the tool here. So start Sev1. There you go. So now you can see that all of these steps were executed appropriately here. So let's dive into JIRA to take a look at what happened here. So let's, pretty sure this was, I think this is just created. So you can tell it's unassigned. And just because my screen the way it is, it doesn't look quite right. But you can see here in the description all of the stack driver information. Also, the link right here is to that Slack channel that was created, and then the status page that was created as well. So now you have that single source of truth to later for postmortem purposes, right? So let's just go ahead and go into that status page. So here's kind of what that status page may look like. Now again, we aren't limited to all of these tools that I'm showing you. We're very process and tool agnostic. So we can go across any sort of IT stack that you have and build the flow according to your process and tools and what you need to do. So there's that created. Now let's dive into that MIM channel. And in this particular case, we are, let's see, 795. We labeled it the incident ID. So let's see, 795. There it is, just barely created. So now, again, as the engineers on call are filing into this channel to fix the issue, they can see instead of just a GIF of eating ice cream and being upset, you can have some context going into it. So here's that JIRA issue. It's a major issue with the API gateway. Here's the Bitbucket details, some Jenkins details, and now everybody is good to go. Now, being XMATTERS, you don't necessarily have to log into XMATTERS to run the incident. We give you the ability to eat, live, breathe, and sleep in whatever tools you want to work out of. So we have organizations that would like to do incident management in Slack, which is totally fine. So maybe you want to invite the XMATTERS bot into this channel and evoke some actions, as in maybe you want to ask it who's on call for a particular group. So on call, let's do software development. And then XMATTERS will spit out who's on call and the escalations and the times. Now this is demo purposes, so these times don't really matter, but essentially you can predetermine these groups and the escalations in XMATTERS behind the scenes. And then we can go ahead and send them an invite to say, hey, can you take a look at that? And then, please join. So, of course, I'm going to get the notification because I'm on call for that group. But now we can, we just help you with expanding or emphasizing whatever it is you need to do. So maybe you want to start a conference bridge with predetermined groups, or maybe you want to make a ServiceNow comment or a Jira comment, or maybe create a status page right from Slack. We can help you do that. It again doesn't really matter to us. We can work around whatever processes that you have. And now, as you can tell, now I'm being invited to that Slack channel here. Zoom in, make sure you can see it. But yeah. So now let's go back to the flow here. So now, as everything is kind of winding down, I'm going to go ahead and resolve the issue. And so from my notification, I can do that, or of course you can resolve it right from wherever it is that you need to resolve it from. And that'll post things back to the channel. It'll resolve the issue in Jira, in status page. And now back to my Stackdriver incidents. You can see here that everything has been resolved. So the whole point of XMatters, again, is to make sure that we can eliminate any manual or mundane tasks that you possibly need to do during an incident and help automate this process to give you the ability to actually work on the issue at hand and not worry about these processes, and give you kind of green lights all across the board. I do have just a few minutes left, so I wanted to show you how these groups look. So as an example, we targeted the API gateway group in this demo. So I can very easily come into here. We can create schedules. So maybe I want to create some wait times, like I'm on call here, and maybe a 7-minute delay. It's very, very easy to drag and drop and maintain this. Now, maybe you want to also rotate it. So what's very common is schedule-based. So maybe you're on call once a week, and maybe we can rotate it every Saturday at midnight, right? So now everybody is in rotation here, or maybe I always want to be on call. Regardless, it's very, very simple to come in and move things around here. So this is a demo environment. I'm going to turn this back off. So yeah. How do users get notified? Oh, devices, yes. So for the devices, we can notify anybody by email, our XMatters app, text message, and voice call. So we give, if you choose, we can, as a best practice, the end user would come into here and modify how they would like to get notified. So in this particular case, you know, they could put in their phone number and maybe add the mobile app, or maybe a text message, a voicemail, a voice call, an email. And then they can maybe put some wait times between their devices. So, you know, I prefer a text message because I know I'm going to see it, because if I get another email or phone call, I'm going to rip my hair out. You can also come into here and specify maybe some priorities. So as a text message, maybe I only want high priority events, and maybe I only want a text message from Monday through Friday from maybe 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening, right? So the common use case here is maybe an incident happens at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you can ask my wife. I sleep so dead that nothing but a phone call will wake me up. So I am going to tell XMatters to give me a phone call versus a text or an email or something like that. So we also have pretty much any integration you can think of. So on our integrations page, you can take a look at any type of tool that you may have. It's very simple as well to create a custom integration. It's at a very high level. It's just simply submitting a webhook and sending a JSON payload into XMatters, and then you can parse it how you want. We give you that flexibility. So, and last but certainly not least, we do have an XMatters free. So if you wanted to try it out here, so sign up. You can have this account for free forever, up to 10 people, and integrate as many things as you want into it. So, and then after the 14-day trial, you only lose the text messages and phone calls, but you can still take advantage of the email and app notifications as well. So give us a try. All right. Any questions? No? Okay. Awesome. Thanks.